So in this class, I am going to explain the topic regarding second order system response and what are the calculations in the second order system response. Second order system responses. I think you already learned in the control systems. So how will be the second order system and what are the times we are going to calculate in the second order systems and how we are going to link up these in the process control industry, and what about IAE, ISC and ITAE. These topics we are going to discuss today. So what is meant by second order system response? Any polynomial equation, if a polynomial equation is having this order that maximum degree is 2, then that system is called as a second order system. Okay, for example, I'll take this ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So what is the highest degree of this polynomial? That is 2. So the order of this particular system is 2. Okay, if the polynomial equation is having order of 2, then that systems are called as a second order system responses or second order system. So we can define the transfer function of a second order system response, that is C of S by R of S equals to omega n square by S square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. This you already know, which is you are going to get in the control systems. So C of S, where C of S is a output of the function or output of the system. C of S is a output and R of S is a input, and omega n is called as a natural frequency, and here zeta is this is very important. Zeta is a damping factor or damping ratio. So depending upon the damping ratio or damping factor, here we are going to calculate and how many responses we are going to get, that we are going to observe. So that zeta value that may be having 4 conditions. So zeta value that may be 4 conditions. What are they? Zeta is equals to, first, whenever zeta value is equals to 0 or zeta is in between 0 and 1, or zeta is equals to 1, or zeta value that may be greater than 1. So if zeta is equals to 0, you substitute that one, then what you get? C of S by R of S is equals to omega n square by, entire second term will become 0, that is omega s square plus omega n square. Okay, so like this you are going to get. So what are the roots? How we are going to calculate the roots for this one? That is, you have to equate the denominator term equals to 0. S square plus omega n whole square is equals to 0. That is, S square is equals to minus omega n square. Nothing but S is equals to j omega n plus or minus j omega n you are going to get as a roots. And the roots are purely imaginary. Is there any real term? So purely imaginary in a condition at zeta is equals to 0. So zeta is equals to 0, that roots are purely imaginary. So that response is called as, and how we are going to get the response? Purely imaginary means that will continuously oscillate. So that response is called as a undamped system response. That response will be like this. Which is continuously oscillating. We are not until that will not settle in a particular value, that will continuously oscillate towards the output value. For example, this is an output. Actually, this is an output, or whatever you are going to give, continuously oscillate according to the particular value, that will not settle in a particular thing. So zeta is equals to 0, that roots are purely imaginary. You have to remember this point. Roots are purely imaginary and that response is called as a undamped system response. So whenever zeta is equals to or zeta is in between 0 and 1, zeta is in between 0 and 1. Actually, you can calculate that one in a control systems directly. Omega n square by s square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. You simplify the roots. So what you get here, roots are complex conjugate. Roots are complex conjugate. Nothing but you are going to get in the format of a plus ib. A plus ib, where a is a real part and b is a imaginary part. In the previous case, what you got, only we are going to get the imaginary part or imaginary roots. Here you are going to get real and imaginary, so combinedly that is called as a complex conjugate. So the response of this particular system whenever zeta is in between 0 and 1, that is called as a underdamped system response. Underdamped system response. Okay, so underdamped system response is nothing but actually first that will oscillate, and then after some time that will settle in a particular band like this. I'm going to draw the graph. For example, this is our actual value, that is u of t. Let us take that input I'm going to take. I need to get output also like this, but actually that will first initially that will increases to the output, and then that will increases, that will oscillate, and finally that will settle in a particular band like this. Okay, this is a settled band, either 3% or 5% of a tolerance. Okay, so this is output C of t, the time t. Okay, this is the output C of t. This is my actual input we are going to apply. So this is about the condition whenever 0 less than zeta less than 1. So what is the next condition? Whenever zeta is equals to 1, if a second order system response, that the damping factor is zeta is equals to 1, then zeta equals to 1, you are going to get the roots are real. Okay, roots are real and equal. Roots are real and equal. You can substitute in that one, that is omega n square by s square plus 2 zeta omega ns, and 2 omega ns plus omega n square, right? So when we simplify this one, omega n square is equals to like this, a plus b whole square formula, that is 1 s plus omega n whole square, right? A plus b whole square, that is a square plus b square plus 2ab. So here a term is s, so s square, b square nothing but omega n, so omega n whole square, 2ab, 2 into a nothing but s omega n, 2 omega n s. So we can write s plus omega n whole square. So when you calculate the roots, characteristic equation should be equals to 0. So like what you got, s is equals to minus omega n is a one root, and s is equals to minus omega n is a another roots. So the roots are real, we don't have any imaginary part, and those two roots are equal. So whenever zeta is equals to 1, we are going to get the roots are real and equal. Okay, so what is the response called? That response called, we are going to call it as critically damped response. Critically damped response. So critically damped response, that will have that don't have any overshoot or any oscillations, that directly reaches to the output like exponential increasing order. So let us take this is the input u of t. Output is varying like this, that finally reaches to like this. This is output and this is input. This is a response when zeta is equals to 1. Okay, so critically damped system, underdamped system, undamped system. Lastly, that is if zeta value is greater than 1. This is called, whenever zeta value is greater than 1, the roots are real and equal. Real and different. Real part and different. Roots are real and different. So you can substitute and then you simplify. Actually underdamped response, that is 0 less than zeta less than 1 and zeta greater than 1, these derivations are very lengthy. So already you got in the control system subject also. So just I skip that one. But actually the roots are, you have to remember these 2 points in process control. The roots are real and different when zeta is greater than 1. Okay. So here what is the response called? That response is called as a overdamped system response. Overdamped response. So what is mean by overdamped? Actually that is whenever the input like this, that will take more time when compared to the critically damped to reach the input, which is same, look like same, but this will take more time. Actually critically damped you are going to get like this. Okay, whenever zeta value is increases, that will reach longer and longer. That will take more time to reach the output. So this is C of t and this is U of t. So this is output of a overdamped system and this is input for a overdamped system. So these are the second order system equation, and how the responses will be like when the conditions zeta equals to 1. Once again I'll repeat, zeta is equals to 0. That roots are how the roots and what is the response I'll draw. What is the response called? So whenever this is zeta value, let us take, I'll take a tabular column. So zeta value is equals to 0, then roots are imaginary. That response is called as a undamped system response. Undamped system response. Whenever zeta is in between 0 and 1, that roots are complex conjugate, and then that response is called as a underdamped system response. Underdamped system response. So whenever zeta is equals to 1, roots are real as well as equal. So that response is called as a critically damped response, and zeta greater than 1, that roots are real but different. Same roots we are not getting, so different roots we are going to get. So that response is called as a overdamped system response. So always we are going to prefer the underdamped system response. So first I'll draw the underdamped system response, and what are the times we are going to get, we'll see now. So this is a underdamped system response. I already shown previously. So let us take this as an input. According to the input, actually output that initially increases like an exponential way, that will get a peak overshoot, and then that is finally that overshoot will be decreases, and that will settle in a particular band. Okay, so this is called as a band of particular thing. So band, that is 3% tolerance or 5% tolerance. So here I am going to represent the output on the y-axis, that is C of t. This is called as a U of t signal, that is the input, and this is t. Okay. So what is here you are going to get different characteristics. So first here TD. What is mean by TD? That is delay time. The time taken for the output to reach the 50% output of its input. To reach 50% output of its input. That is TD. Here we are going to define all terms. TR, TP, and next one TS. So these are the times we are going to define. So TR, first one TD you see. So TD is called as a delay time. How we are going to define the delay time? The time taken for the output signal. This is the output signal. Blue line indicate the output. The output signal to reach 50% of our input. So here we are going to, here we are having an input with a red line, straight line. So in that red straight line, that should reaches the 50% of that input signal. Then how much of time that will take from 0 to like this? This time is called as a TD. Okay. So what about TR? TR is called as a rise time. Rise time, how we are going to define? So the time taken for the output to reach the 10% of the input signal, 10% to 90% of our output, the time taken for the output response to reach from 10% to the 90% of its output, then that is called as a rise time. Rise time. Next one, peak time. Peak time. How we are going to define the peak time? That output response to reach its maximum value. To reach its maximum value. This is a maximum value that will reach. How much of time that will take to reach its maximum value, that is called as a peak time. Peak time. So next one, settling time. Settling time is nothing but the time taken for the output signal to settle in a particular band. Here is a particular band of from here that values are not changing, that will continuously repeating the same values, so that will settle in a particular band. So the time required for this particular signal to reach its particular band or particular settle in a particular band, that time is called as a settling time. Settling time. Okay, so these are the entire second order system response, and then what are the times we are going to generate. So again, same thing, we are going to interlink with the error signals by calculating the integral values. Those are called as a IAE, ISE, and lastly IATE. Okay, so IAE, that will stands for integral of absolute error. Integral of absolute error. So we are going to calculate the IAE value. Error is nothing but, let us define, that is EP. Integral of absolute error. So we can define IAE is equals to integral of nothing but integration of absolute error. So error is nothing but EP. What is meant by absolute? We are going to take the magnitude of that particular thing with respect to dt. So this is defining of IAE. IAE is nothing but integration of absolute error, that is equals to integration of mod EP dt. So what is meant by ISC, which is simple formulas, integral of or integration of square error. So square error is nothing but, we need to square the error signal. Okay, so square the error signal, nothing but ISC is equals to, integration is common for everything, integration of square error, that is EP square into dt. You also get magnitude for this one, that is ISC, integral of square error, that is integration of EP whole square dt. So what is IATE? Last thing, that is integration of absolute time error. Integration of absolute time error. Just here time is extra, and we should multiply with time. We should multiply with time. Let us take IATE. How we are going to write? Integration of. So integration of absolute. Absolute is nothing but, we should take mod EP into time. Time we are going to multiply with t dt. Or you can write like this also. T first you write t into mod EP dt. Very very important. You can get in the 2 marks question in final, or else objective questions in the mid exams. Okay, just remember these 3 formulas with the definitions only. Directly you can get in IAE. IAE is nothing but integration of absolute error. Integration of absolute error ante, that is directly integration of EP dt. ISC, that is integration of square error, EP square dt. Absolute time error, that is t into EP dt. Okay, so this is about your today's session, that is entire second order system response, and how we are going to define ISC, IAE and ITAE.